Hello traders, John at StockBookie.com. Today we're looking at the SPY, the IWM, the Qs, the DIA, the IYT. Let's look at the USO and possibly a couple of other ones if we have time. So let's get right into the SPY, daily, weekly, monthly time frames, and we use technical analysis here at StockBookie.com. So we've been talking about this bullish pattern for the last couple weeks. We're trying to break out. Today they actually got it above the all-time high, and I believe we closed as well above this pivot here, which is 119. Yeah, a little bit. But what happened today, let's go to the intraday 10-minute. So we gapped up, went out, held, and right at the end we started pulling back on some pretty good volume in the last candle, which was roughly about 5 million shares. We were 49 million on the day, so another light volume day. And again, with this light volume, this thing should just keep floating up, floating up. Not as good as this one, but after this consolidation, more consolidation, and we still can't break up. I do give it the benefit of the doubt. We did close above the all-time high here today, but now we have a little topping tail. Not the best, not the worst. I would have loved to have seen more volume, but you got to take it for what it is, and let's see what happens tomorrow if we can get above this and keep going to the 220 area. We've been talking about the 220 area, and if we could get above that, 223 to 225 possibly. Again, light volume, just floating this thing up. Let's go to the weekly. Weekly chart, they barely closed it above this candle, so we still have to look at this and see where this week we close. Still looking for a nice follow-through week. You know, I'd love it to close above 220, 225. Give us some direction here because this light volume crap just keeps getting lower and lower and lower, and I wouldn't doubt it if we continue with the 49 million here, 40 million there. We'll probably have light volume by the end of this week. It is options X, so this is the real shark week, people. And then on the daily, or on the monthly, I should say, we had a nice breakout candle. We're seeing if we could get some follow through. Again, this candle closes on the monthly chart, so we have to wait until the end of the month. So, but again, moving up on light volume, no conviction. It's just a pretty pathetic market, in my opinion. Let's go to the Qs. The Qs, we've been talking about this one on the daily. No real chart pattern, nothing really. We had a topping tail up in this area. We're retracing to the 750 retrace. We did close 5 cents above that area, but let's see if we could get to the 1880 area and then get above this and go to 120, possibly 125 on this one. Again, no real pattern, just kind of a float. We're above the moving averages. We're getting a little bit stretched. It's gonna need to come back home soon, but with the light volume, it's going to be a tough task for this thing to sell off. Again, weekly, I mean, we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks up. This being the 8th week, we still have 4 days, so we'll see this thing, where this thing closes. We're looking for a close above here, confirmation, and we'll continue up. If this pattern fails, then we'll continue down. We'll probably go to, let's go back. Yeah, we got to go to 115.61 first. Then we'll see how it reacts. Might set up for pattern, and then we'll see if it continues down. The big money is short the Qs or the NASDAQ, so it'll be interesting what happens in the next couple weeks. Monthly chart, same thing. We broke above the all-time high. We're trying to get some continuation or follow-through. We'll see at the end of the month if we can actually close above the all-time high and continue up. Let's get to the IWM. We've been talking about this one over and over and over. It got to my 123.43 area. We did take a day trade on this. We are holding overnight. And let's see what happens. We are short the IWM as well. But look at this nice retrace. We came back into this big breakdown area. And this is the monthly. We'll go back to the daily. I'm thinking if, let's see what happens once we're, another couple days into this thing. But let's go to the daily. Daily chart. Bullish pattern, stays above the MAs, another bullish pattern. We're finally starting to break out, but again, 123.45 was my area. We did not close above it. That's what I'm looking at for a close above the 123.45 and then a little more follow through. I mean, on this bullish pattern, this thing should start moving upward. Again, you can see a little bit better on the weekly chart. 123.57 as the top of the candle. I went to the body right around 123.19, 123.20. High of the day was 69. So that was a good area if you wanted to take a short. And let's see if we could continue up. You still have a gap fill up in this area, double top. Gap window around 127. Let's see if we can continue up, or will these be enough resistance to hold this thing down. Again, on the monthly, we're moving up right to this area. Excuse me, people. And let's see if this thing can continue. We got this big trend line too, which has been holding. So a lot of resistance up in this area. Let's see if we could go. But again, I've been telling you guys for the last couple of weeks, this should be a leader. This thing should be at the all-time highs cranking up. We should be at 135 by now. So let's see if this thing can get a nice shoot up. And then the SPY starts to move down. This one continues up. This one might fill the gap or get into this area. And if the SPY continues down, this one will eventually go and start leading the way down. Let's go to the DIA. Same thing, trying to get above the high. Well, this one does not close above the all-time high here, which would be around 186.56. It's about 2 cents off, so it's close enough for government work. But again, strong stance above the MAs, trying to make a breakout. Let's see the daily chart. Same thing. Bullish pattern, gets it back above the 20 MA, consolidates a little bit and starts to break out. But today, like the SPY, came up, reversed, has a little topping tail, so we got to keep an eye on that. Weekly chart, same thing, trying to break out. And the monthly, the same thing. We closed above the all-time high. Let's see if we get some follow through. I want to see this green candle close above this wick. So right, just to say right in that area, about 186.09. And then I'm still hard to believe this thing keeps moving up. Let's go to the IYT. Same thing. IYT, 81 cents up on the day. It's trying, well, it got above the 20 MA today. Let's see if we confirm. This is a slightly bullish pattern, but we are moving down and sideways. So slightly bullish. We did get above the MA. I want to see confirmation, and then possibly we go to these double tops up in here, 143.10. Then ultimately we go to this high here, 144.43. But let's take one day at a time, see if this can confirm above the 20. Then it's in a little bit of a stronger stance. I believe we can move up. Go to the weekly. Weekly chart, same thing. We've been talking about this inside bar. We got below the moving averages. They popped it up, a little bit of a tail. Now we're consolidating sideways. Not a real good, I mean, it moved up 81 cents today, but I want to see more conviction. Again, just like the IWM, this should be leading. It should be at 170 right now, just tearing heads off, and it isn't. So this is a little bit suspect, so you got to keep an eye on the IYT and the IWM. If those are lagging, that's usually not good for the markets, unless you have central bankers and Janet Yellen and everybody else telling CNBC that, you know, everything's cheap, it's looking good down here. Guys, we're moving up on no volume. No volume moving up float. And now the transport should be ripping right now, and they're not. USO. This one was funny. We had so we had a great sell-off. We have a nice retrace. We're coming right into this area. I love the 1092 area, but looking at the weekly, I would like to see it get a little bit higher. 1101, and then right into here, 750 retrace, 1124, then ultimately 1146. If we get up into this area here, short it, use this as a stop out with confirmation. I think it's a nice retrace, and I think we're going to come right back down when the markets start to sell. Here too. Great resistance, 250 MA, right around 11 bucks, but if it gets a little higher, you got this pivot, then ultimately you have this breakdown bar 1160, and then the monthly inside bar, you have an inside bar bearish pattern. It's trying to get up. I mean, we were at all-time lows down in here, but I'm still thinking we're going to tap those at 767, and we're going to go a little bit lower. I'm saying 646. Maybe. If the markets start dumping, it's definitely going to get cracked. We'll have to see how it reacts when it gets to double bottom, then we'll go from there. So let's look at ExxonMobil. You know, oil was up 2.5% today, and Exxon was negative 4 cents. Come on. That's a leader. Again, lagging. We talk about this in all our videos, lagging. When oil was going up, why wasn't Exxon going up? But we have a bearish pattern on the daily. We're below the MAs. I still think we're heading towards 84.44. And if we crack that, we're going to go fill this gap down in here around 82.44. Let's look at Apple. Apple was one of the leaders that actually kind of led today. But this is where it's going. It's going to gap fill right around 110. Then maybe, just maybe, 112.43 if it's lucky. Let's see if we get a little more volume tomorrow, get a little more push through the gap. I guarantee if they have news, they're going to try to gap it over this gap fill right around 199 or 109.91, right in there. They're going to do a gap and go, and they're going to bring it to double top. If not, if we just go up, that's going to have some big resistance up in there. Just make you aware of that. Again, Apple's not leading like Exxon. This thing should be at the highs. Why isn't this thing at the highs? It's almost ridiculous. Weekly chart, same thing. I want to see it close above this trend line, close above this breakdown bar, and then we'll talk about Apple. JPM. JPM's trying, up 40 cents. Again, another leader that's lagging. Why aren't we up at the $70, $71 area? Everything else is making all-time highs. JPM isn't. Let's look at Facebook real quick here. Blowout earnings. Can't even catch a bid, this one. This one had blowout earnings. Now we're in an inside bar pattern. This was a little bit bullish. This thing cracks below the 20 MA. We're going right down to 118.57. And I think we could go down to 110.85 and then fill this gap down in here around 108.72. That's Facebook. Again, a little bit stretched. Needs to come back to the 20 MA, or at least down in here, maybe a 111.36. But we'll watch this one closely as well. And then look at Amazon, another leader, down $4. Again, stretched on the charts. It's the same thing over and over, guys. Stretched on the charts, needs to come back in. You know, I'm going to take a quick look at, is it TWLO? I don't even know. Hold on. TWLO. This one was epic. Look at the volume. This is Options X, people. They're getting everybody in this thing. I mean, how many people had hopped into this thing in the last couple days? Then it goes to 66, 64. And if you're in at 38, you're not selling up here, you're nuts. But there's a bunch of sellers coming in. See what's going on? They're making these run up because money managers, they need to make money. So they get into these IPOs, make them run, and then you know what? As it's doing this 3-bar surge, these guys are all dumping. And then the guys who are chasing this thing, they're all going to be stuck in here. Kind of like BABA. Look at BABA too. This was just a ridiculous move. You know, these markets are just ridiculous right now, people. I mean, you got this monthly chart. This thing moved up from 60 bucks to almost 100 in 7 months. Stocks don't move up like this. I mean, look at this. Straight up, straight down, straight up. Guess what the next move is? Straight down. Just like when this thing IPO'd. Straight up, straight down. The funny thing is, there's so many people. Look at the volume on this candle here. You know how many people bought into this crap? And then all the institutional money started selling, and then everyone ran for cover. Slight bounce, boom. Slight bounce, boom. Now it's charging again, just like every other time, and it's almost ready. I think we're really, really close on BABA. And the reason why is that we filled the gap today, right here, and we could possibly get to the 100 even number. We'll see. But as long as we filled that gap, that's what everything was programmed to do. Fill the gap, fill the gap. And you know what? It did. Then that was an epic move here. But again, MACD's negative divergence. It's just done. Just like Nvidia. Same thing, same chart, right here. Look at that. It's just stretched. This one's going to come in, and when it does, boys and girls, look out. We're going to go right here, boom, and then we'll probably stop in here somewhere around 47, 46, consolidate. But I'm thinking we're going right back into fill this window here, or go to gap window, and then fill the gap right around 35.67. All right, guys, that's it for today. Thank you for watching my videos. If you have any questions or comments, please send it to stockbookie@gmail.com. Thanks, everybody, for watching. God bless. See you on the charts.